Hey guys, Dean here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 habits to become mentally strong, which you're going to want to use if you're an entrepreneur or if you want to always remain with your head in the game. Now, it's a super hot day today, as you can probably tell, so I'm trying my best to do this video while I'm sweating buckets. So let's begin. So the first one is to delay gratification. So the ability to delay gratification can be a great predictor of your future success, right? Now, this is kind of a trait which a lot of mentally strong people use. They have the ability to kind of prioritize the long-term over short-term pleasures. So if you delay yourself doing things which are fulfilling in the short term but aren't going to be great for your long-term success, if you can kind of ignore these distractions, then in the end it's always going to pay off. For an example, for a lot of my teenage years, my friends always wanted me to go out places, and obviously when they started going out and drinking and stuff, I always had my head in the game that I need to work on YouTube, and obviously I kind of regretted it to a certain degree because I did miss out on a few different experiences and obviously hanging out with my best friends. But because I skipped over those different situations, it did also help my YouTube to become a success. So missing out on certain things and always grinding to do specific things which you have a vision for really does pay off in the future. And then obviously when you become successful, you can still enjoy that time with your friends. So it's important to always focus on things which are going to be important in the long term, especially since you don't really have much time to achieve them. So if things can be put off which are less important, sometimes that has to be the case. And this is something which you see a lot of successful people do. And if you're very passionate about something, sometimes you have to create priorities for this. But it's important to always remember to weigh up positives versus negatives before doing this, of course. The next one is always make sure to show up, right? So this is kind of showing up for yourself and showing up in terms of always being ready to work. So even on the toughest days when you're feeling lazy or unproductive, it's always important to make sure to focus on your goal or to keep working. So often there's a lot of times where kind of emotions cloud your choices. So for an example, you might feel lazy, you might feel a bit depressed, or you might feel tired or lethargic and you don't want to work or you don't want to get on the grind. Now, it's important to always just push past these feelings and make sure you do something, at least one productive thing per day, right? If you're always grinding out and proving to yourself that you can show up when you don't want to, this kind of builds resilience and it also creates good habits that you can enforce on yourself, sometimes without even trying to. And this is great for mental strength and to kind of push you to always keep trying to be better and keep trying to be productive and develop yourself in some kind of way. Now, obviously, all these tips work for everything, right? This could be for doing exercise, this could be for doing business, or just generally trying to hold yourself accountable if nobody else can. So this is a pretty cool tip too. Now, the third one is positive self-talk. Now, this is something which I think a lot of people need to do, me included, and I think a lot of people have kind of negative opinions around themselves, or they kind of allow other negative opinions to kind of influence them. One of the fastest ways to tear down your own personal development, I think, is to kind of have a negative opinion of yourself or allow negative self-talk to kind of seep in. I think it's important to contribute to yourself in a positive way. So if you achieve something good, it's always good to congratulate yourself or enjoy the kind of achievement from doing well, right? I think that's important because it obviously makes you feel more positive and it allows you to feel better about what you're doing, and you're going to obviously feel much better with positivity around you. This is why I try to also not consume anything which is negative. This could be like sad or depressing music or consuming negative thoughts or being around negative people. I think it really just puts a damper on everything. So this kind of goes into that same thing. But remember, you are your own biggest critic. So always try and keep a positive outlook on things and kind of have the always I can attitude rather than I can't. Now, the next one is don't dwell on things, okay? So I think everybody has this problem. I think if something goes wrong or if you make a mistake or if you had a bad past experience, you always look on the past and think, could I have changed it in some way? Did I do something wrong? I think it's always important not to dwell on things and always learn from things. It's great to always feel some kind of empathy for yourself and other people, and also maybe feel sorry if you did something wrong, for an example. But allowing problems or situations like this to dominate your mind is a really quick way to lose focus, especially when you're trying to do something. If you have a lot of these problems or bad kind of situations or memories, they do weigh you down in certain situations. So I'd recommend to try not to dwell on your problems, but kind of take them as lessons and obviously learn from them, which is super important. Focus what is in your control. I think this is the biggest tip which I personally learned, because there's certain things which you've experienced, you ran into, and most of these are out of your control and you really can't change them. So it's best to focus on what you can take action on and control yourself. I think this has probably been the best personal tip which I learned, because this can kind of dominate your mind and kind of push you and make you feel down. This is a really good, important tip to keep you mentally strong and staying focused. And the last final tip which which I'm going to outline in this video, is the practice of empathy. So this isn't really anything to do with business, this tip. This is just another really useful one which I read, right? So basically, try not to take things personally. So like what I said in the last point, if something really bad happens to you, or if someone does something bad to you, for an example, try and look outside of the box on that. It's easy to kind of get your feelings involved and kind of get really mad at people or angry, but try not to take things personally despite the type of level it's on, right? So try to seek to understand two sides of a coin. So if you can kind of see the viewpoint of other people, you can use it to not only form stronger kind of connections or relationships with them, but you can also kind of see why they did that thing. Especially if someone was really bad to you, for an example, or if someone mistreated you, they probably had a bad situation in their childhood that they can't control. And obviously that's not your fault. So this also makes you feel better about bad situations. So these are all kind of good mindsets to have which make you feel better about stuff. Like I said, this has nothing to do with business or productivity to a certain extent, but all of these tips do in some way, regardless of being specific to that, do make you be positive, because you can always keep your mind on the right things. So this was a really quick video on the 5 tips to stay mentally strong, which I think everyone should try to embody and learn from, and they can be really useful for all different types and areas of life, which have personally really helped me out a lot learning these in the past few years. So if you like this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and check out my channel because I have some really good videos on making money on websites like selling on eBay, and also through methods like drop shipping. And I also have some really cool travel guides on a lot of cool countries, so if that's your type of content, make sure to stop by the channel. Also, if you like this t-shirt I'm wearing, this is the merch from my main channel on YouTube called The Blue Crusader. This will be on sale soon, so if you want to get that merch, make sure to check out that channel, which will be linked on my channel page over here. See you next time.